Hello and welcome to SportsWomenConnect. My name is Regina, your host. SportsWomenConnect is a platform for girls, women, and sports well-wishers to connect and share their ideas, experiences, and aspirations for women in sport. We'll be discussing issues with special emphasis on women in sports leadership. And today I am joined by a young lady who is very enthusiastic about development of hockey in Uganda. She'll be talking about recruitment, motivation, retention of athletes into hockey. I'll let her introduce herself and tell us a bit more.
Thank you very much, Regina. My name is Namusoke Sandra. I am 24 years old, and my journey in hockey has now lasted for almost 10 years. I studied in Kasubi Church of God Nursery and Primary School. I started King's College Budo in 2006, and in 2007 I recruited into hockey. The hockey team then was lacking because the seniors had left, so they left a vacuum. And as such, they recruited us, football players, to actually...
You were football players?
Yeah, I was a football player.
Okay.
So they recruited us, the football players, to join the team, in order for the team to participate in the nationals then.
Okay.
Yeah, and ever since then I have never looked back. So we went on to actually win nationals, to the shock and surprise of everyone 1 year later.
Because initially you had... it was only the senior fours, you said?
Yeah, senior fours and senior sixes.
Who were taking part?
Yeah.
Who were representing the school?
Yes.
And then how did you guys come into the picture?
Well, since we're already athletes, I guess it was easy for them. The sports teacher then, she approached us and she's like, you know what, we have a vacuum. You don't need to know any skills. Yeah. Just come. We go so that the school is not ashamed, because they had already booked their slot. Yeah. Okay. They had already booked their slot. So we went. And
for nationals?
No, actually, the games leading to nationals. Yeah. Okay. So we went and participated, and it was fun. I guess it was fun. I mean, we're already athletes. So we went on to get basic skills. Okay. And yeah, so in 2008? Yes, 2008, we won nationals. We beat Gayaza in an intense game.
A lot of pride.
Yes, we do, because we were the underdogs in the tournament. Yeah. Okay. So we went on to win, and in 2009 we represented Uganda in the East African Secondary School Games that were in Fort Portal. Yeah, so I am guessing HSC we still played.
HSC, what is HSC?
Sorry, yeah. So when we went after our S4, our advanced level, of course, players left to go to different schools. Yeah. But we still played. We held the sport, and we held our team because we had come from far. I'm guessing there is a sort of bonding that is important in such a game. Yeah. So we
in all sports, I guess.
Yeah, in all sports, I guess. But when you're relying on 10 other people to ensure that the ball gets to you, to ensure that someone else gets it to score, it requires a certain form of invisible dance, I should say, between all of us. Yeah. Trust someone so that they can trust you. Yeah. So we have had that for a long time, and it is with these ladies that we joined the then Stallions, that is now the Kampala Hockey Club, in 2012 when we were at the university to form the Swans, which is the ladies' side. Yeah.
The Swans is a club side for Kampala.
Yeah, it's the women
club.
Yeah, it's the ladies' side. Yeah.
Full name.
Thank you, Gracious.
Why swans?
It is a beautiful animal. It is gracious. We can't.
So you carry yourself with a lot of grace.
That is what we would like to think. That is what we would want everyone to think.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So I have played with these ladies still at the university. Okay. Yeah, we went for university games, and that was an unfortunate incident since there were no other teams. But the more I do things with these ladies, the more we bond, and I've found that bonding is important, especially in recruitment and maintenance of players. Yes, it is something that we barely look at. It is invisible, yes, so to speak. It is invisible. It is not money, or I don't know. It is invisible, yet it is something critical. If you're going to have 11 people on pitch playing in symphony, then there has to be something much more. They need to be associating on a different level. that is not physical, and that is many of the members of the Swans right now were in King's College Bodo then.
Okay, so don't you think the other players are like, those are King's College Bodo products, so they look at themselves at that level?
Yes, and it has happened, unfortunately. Okay. It has happened. We have.
So how are you dealing with it?
First of all, I should say that we have lost very many players on that level. Subconsciously, we bond with each other more than anyone else. But then again, it is the duty of management and recruitment, because Kampala Hockey Club actually has a recruitment secretary.
Okay.
Yes, it is a post. It is a technical post that there is someone who actually handles recruitment of athletes. So the club should be looking at these things. How to synchronize new members.
Yes.
The older versus the younger. The ones who are in King's College versus the ones who come in from other sports and other schools. Yes. Or those who joined after not having played the sport for long, because they are there also. Yeah. So how we are handling it is we are trying to separate. The club introduced a PEG system.
Okay.
It is a KHC thing. Everyone is attached to a member. So I have a PEG. I have someone who is attached to me. So I ensure that they are well. If they're not coming for practice, why? Why? If they don't have school fees, why? It transcends hockey as a sport, but then we look at an individual as a person. Yeah, first. Yes, first, and which is important because these athletes are people first. If they have other issues, then they affect. Exactly. They'll affect the sport. They'll affect the productivity of the person. Yes, and in a team sport, the moment there is a lag in productivity, even in one person, even if it's a defender, even if it's your keeper, even if it's your striker, then you won't score. Yeah, true. And when it's all said and done, you're supposed to score. Yeah, so the PEG system was put in place to ensure that everyone is bonding with someone. If a person is not performing, then we have someone to ask. Yeah, what is happening? Yes. What is happening to your... So is it some kind of role modeling or mentorship? I wouldn't go so far as mentorship. It was mainly put there to ensure. It was basically the older members of the team attached to the younger members of the team. So I guess it is mentorship. It's mentorship. Yes, in our only way. That the terminology is kind of. I don't know whether it's King's College lingua or something like that. It's a joke. Yeah. Okay, so what is the current situation in terms of numbers? Numbers are still few. Numbers are still few, and it is worrying because Kampala Hockey Club, the Swans, right now, we can only talk about 20 active athletes. On a normal season? On a normal season. 20 active. And by active, I don't mean everyone who will heed your call when you say we are going to start practicing for league, let us come. No. 20 is the maximum, like when you have stretched your resources, when you have stretched and you've called in everyone and you've called in favors left and right. And that is worrying because if we are going to proceed, 20 is not, doesn't make me comfortable as a coach, especially if I am going to develop talent and if I'm going to ensure that there is smooth transition in every position on pitch, because if you do not have alternatives on pitch, then that is terrible. It is worrying. How are you addressing that? Now, the issue of numbers, because hockey is a dangerous game, let us face it. It is a dangerous game. I played once and I got hit and I was like, but it was a good experience. I'm not saying, I think the other person, my opponent, was more superior, more experienced than me, so they knew where to hit me, and then I kind of just say, this is not for me, but that's for another day. Okay. First of all, to address the issue of being hit, that person wasn't superior. They were just mean. They were just mean. Yeah. They were just mean. An experienced player would never hit another player because it is a foul. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, to recruitment, the club is putting in place a technical committee that is comprising of a technical director. It comprises of the recruitment or secretary. And we are all, even the coaches and the captains, we are all responsible for going into schools. Now, by schools, I don't mean all schools. We have targeted City High for the Swans. City High School. And that is where we are going to go on a daily basis to train with them. To train with them, not only as a way of introducing the sport in the school, but as a way of bonding. Because I have noticed that for all the teams, the people who have stayed the longest are the ones that are bonded the best. So if we can ensure that we all have an emotional investment in the club, then maybe we can retain athletes.
Maybe we can attract more.
Yes, and also, you know, we are trying to make it a social sport.
Which has not been the case. Because usually I see, when I pass by, I see the sticks are swinging around, and then after the sticks, everybody goes home.
which is the truth. But Kampala Hockey Club has brought up very many initiatives. For example, friends and family. Friends and family, we get our friends, we get our families, we come. Hockey is a basis for what we are doing, but we do very many other things. So we bond with them, and in those endeavors, we have actually recruited people. People who have come, they're like, oh, okay, let me give this a try. And we need people who are going to give it a try. Because us, we are not injured. I don't look injured at all. And I have played for long.
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. I have sustained injuries, but not fatal. So we need people who will sustain injuries, and they're like, no, but this is something I need to do.
So you're still a coach player?
Yes, right? I am still a coach player. And
you're not retiring?
And I am not retiring from either.
Which is a good thing.
My African hockey mentor, he's like, it is okay. And it has been seen, not just in Uganda, but on the international stage. People have actually coached while playing at the same time. So he's like, it is not a one-off. I need to set my goals.
Especially the fact that you have fewer players. It becomes very challenging when you're on the line and things are going wrong and you actually know what to do to fix the problem.
That is the truth. It is challenging, especially if you're still playing active sport. You know how difficult it is to just sit and
usually when I'm on the line, I just keep moving. Like, it's tense. It's really tense. So why did you choose coaching?
I chose coaching, especially over umpiring, because coaching, I noticed that, first of all, we were lacking basic skills. We went for the African Cup in 2013. Actually, it was hosted here in Uganda as the Swans, and it was a brutal experience. A brutal experience. We were beaten very many goals. Very many goals. But all the teams kept on wondering why we kept on going back on pitch. Because first and foremost, it is Kampala Hockey Club. We are in service to the club. So we had to go back. We had to represent, no matter how wrong things went that day. But then ever since that experience, I noticed that we were lacking basic skills. There are some things we should have been taught when we're just learning. And we are not supposed to be seeing them right now when we are seniors. Exactly. When we are seniors. And other teams used to look at us and like, what is wrong? We just knew very basic things, and it was worrying. So the African hockey, and as we noticed, there's a need. There's a need for us to actually have skills, not to train for local tournaments only, but with the elites. I mean, when we looked at how Egypt played, because Egypt is our senior very many times over, it was worrying. So before we go into anything else, our skill needs to be top notch. And that is where I want us to go. And
that's when you decided, you know what, I have to join coaching.
Yes.
How many female coaches are we talking at the moment for hockey?
Kampala Hockey Club, I'm the only one. And as the Uganda Hockey Association, we are only 3. 3? Yes.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
How are we going to improve those numbers?
The numbers and improvement of the numbers is it has to come down to us as an initiative. Even on pitch, when a player doesn't recognize the need to improve, there is nothing you as a coach can do to help them. So as a fraternity and as a club, we need to notice and we need to acknowledge the fact that we need these skills. Then and only then will we have,
as individuals first.
As individuals first. If we do not bond with an idea, then no one can sell it to us, no matter how hard they try. But this is something that we have seen, especially in women administration. The club has sent several ladies to go do
training.
Yes, not for coaching, but for administration. So we have seen people doing the sports administration course at the UOC. We have seen people doing the advanced sports management course still at the UOC, and that is encouraging. That means there is hope. So amongst them, amongst us, there will be other coaches. So I am not a one-off. I am not special.
You are. Come on.
I am the youngest, I must admit. But there is still hope. Where there are ladies, there will be hope. I'm sure someone has seen this, and I talk with my girls, and they know. Yeah. So,
what other challenges for women in sports leadership do you see? Do you see for hockey?
First of all, in as much as we would like to pity ourselves and say it is a male-dominated industry, it is not. It is not at all. No one is going to understand other ladies like a lady. That is first and foremost. But ladies, it is challenging because of the things that are inherently in women and not necessarily outward.
Which are those things?
For example, ladies can just decide not to come for coaching, for training, for practice. And you wonder, you inquire, okay, people, why aren't we coming? Why aren't you coming? As an individual, why aren't you coming? And they have no reason. I just couldn't make it. I just couldn't make it. And it is something I want to encourage in my girls. It is something I want to encourage in my team, that the team comes before all of us. The team will transcend us. And if it's going to transcend us, then we are the shoulders that are going to carry the future generation of hockey. So unless we do excellently right now, then no one is going to do excellently apart from us. So of course, recruitment, the numbers being few, and ladies being ladies, there are other issues like giving birth. When ladies give birth, off we send them with a baby shower.
Bridal showers and I don't know.
Bridal showers, baby showers, and you never see them again. And yet, it is supposed to be us.
It's supposed to be like, okay, we are telling you to go and add another to this team. You know, we need that. We need that little one to come and join the team, and don't stay in the kitchen the rest of your life after we do a nice bridal shower for you.
It is the truth. It is the truth. And hockey being not so popular, we are supposed to base on merit. Everything we do should be on merit, and everything we do we should impact our members so much that they go out and tell other people. And that is how we are going to grow. Not because we are going to win African Cup. Okay, we will win African Cup. It is the truth. We shall win it. But we're not going to be like football. That there is
it's a popular sport.
Exactly.
It's already out there.
There is a game in Nambole, and the masses all the way from Gulu go to Nambole. So as it is going to be on merit, and it is going to be on promotion, individual promotion. So if we keep on losing members, and those people, that means they are somewhere with their hockey knowledge seated, not telling anyone, not encouraging anyone.
What grassroots initiatives are you planning? Because if you say it's already not popular, and you need to popularize it, how are you going to go about it?
First of all, our grassroots initiatives sadly do not include primary schools.
Which should be a starting point.
Which should be a starting point.
Yes.
But our major issue with primary school is that after children leave P7, after they are done their primary living examinations, you are not guaranteed where they are going to go.
Okay, but that's where management comes in, because if, for example, this one has an attachment to a primary school, I'm just saying, to a primary school, then it means as management you have to follow up on the number of pupils who are leaving primary school and where they are going, because they usually have those records.
Of course.
So that could be one way of saying, okay, this is where they're going, so that you don't lose them out.
Okay.
Wherever they go, you can be able to
to follow them
up. But if you say, okay, because after P7, then they disappear, then there's no solution. There has to be a solution. We are managers, we are problem solvers, so there has to be a solution. You cannot say no.
Yes, so that is something Kampala Hockey Club has to look at. But our main recruitment efforts have been with secondary schools. So we have attached ourselves to particular schools, Namugongo for boys, and sorry, Namidyango, then there is Nalia Secondary. We have started hockey there. They actually participated in the independence tournament. Okay. They didn't do so well, but it was an excellent start for people who had never even heard of the sport. Exactly, never heard of it. Management had never heard of it. The students had never heard of it. And it was an excellent start. So we are basically focusing on the secondary schools. First of all, mainly because in our league, we cannot use underaged.
But it can be created.
Yes, it
can be created so that I'm just thinking about tomorrow.
Of course.
I'm just kind of sharing, looking at where we're going. Of course. Because if you tell me that because you can create under 12 league, you can create under 8 league, and they play in their league. So it's it's not something you're going to
yeah, no, it is not my excuse. But also to that end, there's going to be a 5-a-side tournament. Okay. Yeah, and this is going to mainly focus on students between, I think, 11 and 16. Okay. So that is your secondary school. So we are trying to get these talent out, and we are going to train them.
I'm still insisting you have to go down to, if you're going to make this sport popular in terms of recruitment and retention of athletes, you still have to go grassroots. That is you don't have to take it, but I would think because it's unpopular. Yeah, true. Yeah, so and it's easier for young kids to. That stick is really easy to to show them how to. I've done it once and I liked it, but the pain that came with it. But it's easier if you go down to the grassroots and then build from under there. Yeah, it would just be, that's just my opinion. And
it would make sense. It would make sense because also parents are worried. Yeah, parents are scared of their children being hit and all those concerns. But if and it is management's duty. You know, we have a Kampala Hockey Club's festival, schools festival.
When is it?
Actually, the date for next year hasn't been decided upon. Okay, but that will come shortly. And we bring talent, especially secondary schools. We gather them so that we pit them against each other, not against clubs, because you know sometimes it's difficult when you're playing experience. Yeah, so we get a winner from them, and it is nice because first of all, the school where you take it, they are sensitized. They know, oh, okay, there is something big. Where are all these people going? Why are all these people here?
So more tournaments.
Yes, so more tournaments, and it is encouraging. So that festival, not only do we use it to spread and popularize the game, but we also use it to recruit. Because we have had good talent coming from these tournaments. You can't believe the talent with these children, with these athletes. Sorry.
In Uganda, I don't think we are short of talent.
No, we're not. We are. It is not our problem. I don't think we are short of.
I can say it proudly because I have seen very young athletes who are so talented, but it's just, you know, the environment around them to support them to develop their talent. Environment
is important because where we are coming from, it is school first. Yeah. Then when we finish school, it is work next. Sport is not considered school or work in Uganda.
It's leisure.
It is something you do when you.
And yet other countries are making a lot of money out of sport.
Now, I attended the African Cup early in January, and the Ugandan team was excellent. They performed. Weatherhead Hockey Club performed wonderfully, but when pitted against the clubs that actually have people who play as clubs, you know, it is their job. Okay. You wake up in the morning on Monday.
You train.
Tuesday.
You're there.
Wednesday. All the way through to Sunday or whichever day they break off from. And And it is not that we do not have it, but our priorities. And it is not the and it is not the athlete's problem. It is the environment.
Yeah.
It is the way we are nurtured.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of these things that we're not going to break as a club, we're not suddenly going to ensure that everyone thinks sport is important, but there is always a remnant.
Yeah.
And it is that remnant that we want to grasp. Because right now the club has remnants. I am sure we are not the end.
Yeah.
So it is those remnants that we want to grasp each year. So even if in a year we get 5 committed recruits and we retain them and they are motivated, then that is excellent. We have achieved our goal. Because then our turnover, it is not terrible, it is not bad at all, but the recruitment, the numbers actually coming in and adhering to the club's vision is our problem. Yeah, so the club is renewing its efforts in recruitment. This year, after our annual general meeting, late last month, our new efforts are on recruitment because we have noticed there is a gap. Yes, so we are focusing on the secondary schools. Sorry, not primary schools for now. We are focusing on the secondary schools. We are going there to bond with them, to train with them, and the reason why the club has so many coaches now, the men, the number is
okay.
Yeah, it's okay. We want them to have basic skills. Basic skills that are actually international. You know, holding a stick is one thing.
Yeah, but how to the technical
exactly the technical aspect is lacking.
Yeah.
Yes, and it is lacking in our sport today, and it is what we want to encourage in our athletes, even the ones we are recruiting. They have to know that they are hitting a certain standard. If we are going to be playing Australia, if we are going to be playing the Dutch, then we have to step up.
It has to be at that level.
It has to be at that level, and that is why the club has renewed its effort in making sure all its administrators have their basic skills. All its technical team has the basic skills. So now everyone on the technical team is a trained umpire or is a trained coach. And that is something that Kampala Hockey Club is focusing on right now. So I must say that even if right now we may not be looking sharp, but
you're getting there.
In the future, trust me, in the future.
10, 5?
No, not 5. 3 years. 3 years at the maximum.
I hope God gives me the grace to be here.
No, you are going to be here.
God should give me the grace to be here and to just see this happen. And
you are going to see this happen when we win the National League, when we go for African Cup, and Uganda, and the banner will fly, and you will be my witness. Yes.
Okay, and Sandra, your final wishes for girls and women in sports?
Women in sport. First of all, we are a special breed. We are a special breed in a community where the ladies' place was believed to be the kitchen and the delivery room. You have excelled beyond expectations. You have been in the kitchen, you have been in the delivery room, but you have gone ahead to challenge your body to do something that is much more. Yeah. And that is excellent. That is excellent. You know that you should work hard because you have added responsibility. You are not just doing this for yourself, you're doing it for girls to come, for your daughter, for your granddaughter, for someone else's daughter. And that is excellent because for me to become a woman in sport, my mother is not a sportswoman. None of my siblings is, but there was a woman. And when we are doing this, we should know that we are doing this not for ourselves, but for all girls out there, not just in Uganda, in East Africa, in Africa, in the world. You are holding our generation. You are doing something that is much more, and please continue to do that. Continue to participate, continue to administer, because no one can administer like women do. And it is the truth. No one is going to coach these ladies like I am going to do. Yes, let us believe in ourselves. Yes, we are doing excellently now, but we are going to do much more in future. Please do continue the good work.
Wow. Inspirational. Youngest coach.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Sandra, for coming in. And as we come to the end of the show, we were discussing recruitment, motivation, and retention of girls and women in sports, especially hockey in Uganda. That's all we had for today. Till next time, goodbye.